game on a Sunday. St Kilda and Melbourne. Perfect bounce. White over the top. Bruce going to get the first possession of the game, ridden into the turf. Nicely done by Ball to weave through. He gets it to half forward. Voss, who's having a good season, will come back and pick it up. Handball backward to play. I think he might have stepped over the line.
Cameron Bruce got a bit of a crook shoulder now.
The tackle, have a look at it. From Guerra, rode him into the ground. And he's sore, Gary.
He is. Looks like a bit of an AC, perhaps. Goddard got the job of running with him, which is interesting.
Well, the player in the best form in the competition at the moment, getting some attention as we speak. Ball at ground level, Johnston. Free kick will go the way of the Saints. And as the umpire just said, Aussie Jones, the recipient, centre wing. So we'll keep an eye on Cameron Bruce for you and see whether he gets any further attention. Colin Sylvia is up on the bench and ready to replace him if need be. Jones driving, ball inside 50, high, Voss backing back. Solid mark.
Yeah, that's interesting too. If Brett Voss is a man who's gone forward, he just turned Clint Bizzle around at that stage. Now, Clint Bizzle is a super player as a floating defender. Now, what St Kilda really got to do is Bruce does come to the interchange bench. Great call, Brian. And both Sylvia and Heffernan came on, so I think Daniel Bell might have come off as well. But this is a big call, this.
He is in big trouble, Cam Bruce. We're going to get an update from Chris Jones in a moment while Voss lines up for goal. Nothing too hard about this. 30 metres out, no wind to speak of, directly in front. And Voss will line up for the first of the game a minute in. Comes in, kick on the way, looks pretty good, it's there. Saints, first on the board.
Well, you asked for a little bit of support prior to this game starting up in the forward half, and Brett Voss, who's made his mark over the past couple of seasons as one of the quality defenders. Just look what happens when you turn your defender around. The defender has to run with his back to the flight of the footy. At some stage, he has to risk a look at the ball. And when Clint Bizzle did then, he just lost the flight of it. Voss read it beautifully, and he's on the board early. It's a big move.
The Saints with the first goal, and it came from Brett Voss. Good start for them. Not a great start for the D's, losing their on-ball superstar Cameron Bruce. Up the race with shoulder problems. Going to get Chris Jones on that in just a second. In fact, we'll go to him now. Jonesy.
JB, he went straight down the race. The doctor took one look at his right shoulder and took him down the race. We'll keep across it.
Big tackle here from Brent Guerra and driven into the ground, landed on the right shoulder.
Into the forward half now for the D's. Look at Miller go charging at it. Involved as well, Robertson. Some heavy clashes. Saints defence work it out of there. Del Santo worried out of it by Green. What about that for a bit of silk on each other? Handball high. McDonald will take a free. The contact rough.
Some great matchups, JB. You called Del Santo Green. Travis Johnston and Aussie Jones as well will be interesting.
Long to Neitz, who's got a big break. Kick's not quite going to get to him on the full. Picks it up around the body. And the ball will bounce. Help through for a rush behind. Melbourne get their scoring underway.
There he is, that man. Brownlow medal favourite, been in red-hot form.
Well, he's going back to the rooms, Gary.
Might be injection time, Brian. They just think that that's the reason they take you back to the room, although it does not look good.
Okay, short ball in for the Saints. Ball looking for Maguire, but Miller able to attack the ball and mark it.
Just come back a metre, Matt. Thanks, right there.
Just forward of the centre wing on the edge of the square. They play great corridor football, the Demons. Kick to Robinson, a little heavy for him. Hudson over the top. Successful in bringing it to ground. Goddard, deep in defence for the Saints. Maguire the target. Didn't let him down this time. And both these sides already showing some great physical signs that they're ready to play. Some real tough footy. Kick to half forward. Beautiful mark taken by Rivers.
He's got the job on Aaron Hamill. Great matchup. All the huff and puff of Aaron Hamill won't faze this young bloke too much. He'll keep out of it and do his job.
Low penetrating ball in search of Miller. Good player. Shaving the head to get rid of the Gary Lyon lookalike, and done a good job of it too. Green inside the 50. Not such a great kick. Clark had to go a bit harder. Turnover. Shot on goal. Very, very nice from Heffernan. The D's have got their first.
Not such a great kick, not such a great effort. Xavier Clark, you want to play at this level, you go back and you've got to take what comes your way rather than just sticking one mitt in the air and hoping it sticks. And that is a disappointing effort in a crunch game from a young man who then gets heavy shepherd from Adam Uze, and will be reminded of that throughout the course of his immediate playing career.
Ready to go again. Goal apiece here at the Dome, and have the behind in for the Demons, and they're one up. Umpires today, Steve McBurney, Kieran Nichols and Michael Avon. To half forward, Del Santo through very heavy traffic, did it brilliantly. Guerra on his non-preferred right side, still a good linking kick at the end of the square. Garrick was held, Nicholson overdid him, and Garrick will line up on the edge of the goal square.
Well, it is one of the, as I said earlier, it is one of the players. Gee whiz, gee whiz.
Well, they're both in that, aren't they?
That's just a wrong decision, and umpires will make them, and that's one of them.
I guess they say that why would the forward try and hang on if he's trying to win the ball, and that's how they make the decision, but they both had a piece of each other. Garrick comes in, got his first of the game.
Well, the forward hangs on because he's a monster, and he can muscle blokes and use his strength. He's one of the strongest, if not the strongest player in the competition.
No, but you know what I mean? The umpire would be saying, well, why would the forward continue to hold
well,
on?
Who instigated this? Who instigated this?
Well, they've both got each other.
Yeah, no one's holding it.
But
That
my
is
point
just
is,
a shocking decision. Watch it. Go on, go on.
Garrick with the Saints second. Slightly dubious.
Slightly.
Hayes in the centre. No clearance. Rigoni in his 100th game. Slapped into the turf. The hands from McDonald were good. Rivers high. Number of players under. That's a very good mark.
Great mark. Sylvia, isn't it?
Got to come back.
He had it.
Melbourne players thought that advantage was going to be paid, but you heard the umpire say you can't play on from advantage from the mark, and fair enough too.
Colin Sylvia will take one of the marks of the year at some stage through his career. He's deceptively strong in the air and does have a crack at it.
Long journey from here, about 60 out. He's going to have a ride. Timing looks okay. It's going to land in the square. Almost landed in the hands of Uze. Clark concedes in the end to behind.
James McDonald got the job on Luke Ball too. That'll be a fantastic matchup.
Jones from fullback. The Saints by 4 points. Hudson and Goddard combining in defence. Brennan Goddard kicks out wide to the Hawkins wing. Boss will win himself a free here.
What do you think about that move, boys? Ross forward. I think it's terrific thinking. Well, yeah, I do too, Gary, as a matter of fact.
No, just listening to the umpire there, Gary, to see what the free was for. Retarding. Not a bad idea. Certainly catch them by surprise, Gary, and something different. Unpredictable. Voss. Long ball. Half forward. Hamill. Off hands. Wheatley. Around the corner. High ball. Goddard missed it in flight. Mopped it up to Ball with a clever tap. The drawing handball to Hayes was intelligent. Now the linking ball to Voss, who's just getting a lot of it. His fourth touch already. Got a goal in amongst that as well. The Saints just playing with the ball. That's Clark. The foul Clark took a bounce. Got rid of the handball now. Hamill not quite sure where to go. Looking wide for Jones, but Johnson able to get there and cut it off for the D's.
I don't like to interrupt when Brian's got the microphone, Gary. Miller's in the middle.
Anyone, answer me, anyone.
He's backward of the centre square here, Miller. Having a good year. He goes with a drop punt to half forward. The big presence of Neitz brings the ball to the front, which is what you want. Small players not there, however, for the D's. And a wrapped up ball will have a bounce. Let's go down to Jonesy.
Yeah, Cameron Bruce is still in the rooms. We expect that he's having a jab. At this early stage, we do think it is the AC joint. He's still in the rooms, and we'll just wait to see over the next 10 to 15 minutes how he comes up.
Replay there of the incident very early on in proceedings.
First tackle of the game.
Yep, Xavier Clark wrapped up in his own brand of tackle, and there'll be another bounce.
Stephen Baker playing on the last line against Adam Uze. It's a match-up that would have you a little nervous if you're a Saints supporter.
White did it well inside the 50. The hands good only for the Saints, and Maguire's away. We'll have a bounce. Low ball from that player. Milne's got a break on Brown. If he picks it up, he'll turn him inside out. That's what he's attempting to do. Hamill was on. He ignored that, did Milne. Now with the low ball, misses his target. And the D's will bring it away.
They will indeed. And they'll rebound quickly. Wheatley out wide. Got a thump away from Travis Johnson. G. Johnson's been in great form recently as well. Jones inside with a handball to Ball. The acting skipper today looks for Milne again. Got there to cut it off. The 100 gamer in Brown. And there's his mate for support. Missed on the Shepherd. Rigoni. The 200 gamers together. Short ball. And Bizzle able to gobble it up on centre wing. Kick around the body to White. Needs a good sit. Didn't have clean hands. Rafael Clark crashes in. Just his third game elite footy. And we're going to throw it in. And a good tackle.
It's an area of Jeff White's game that has got better over the years.
2 straight the Saints. Melbourne 1-2-8. White and Ackland. Ackland being very good for the Saints this year. Rigoni. The back door, just a high lifting ball. Here comes Neitz. Clark was very good in the air, couldn't quite hang on it. Baker tried to crash a couple, and there was no way the Demons were letting him through that crack.
3 tackles for Jeff White, for a big man early in the game. That's good. Have a look at the St Kilda bench. Wars, Blake, Thompson, Peckett to come on, some experience. St Kilda clearances 5-1 ahead. They've been dominant there.
Here comes Robertson. Step through a couple. Uze thumps it the Rigoni direction. He can take a shot. Rigoni in his 100th game. It's there. Good result.
He's a very good kick of the footy, Guy Rigoni. Has always been a good kick of the footy. He's playing on the wing at the moment, being picked up by Aaron Fiora. Just had to get this one out. Banged it on the boot, only a couple of paces to get himself settled, and that did not look like missing off the boot. So, pretty fair contest at the moment. And I'll tell you what it is, it's a very straightforward game. No tricks being played by either coaches. Everyone's got a man, 6 forwards, 6 backs.
Demons by 2 points after the Rigoni goal. And you spoke about those clearances before, 5-1 in favour of the Saints, Gary, and they've done it all year. They lead the competition in clearances this year. They are very good at it. Rigoni. There he is, just kicked the last goal. And now a clearance in the middle for him. The linking ball to White. Look at that low bullet-like ball. Picked up brilliantly by Uze to Sylvia. He will launch from inside 50, missed.
The match up with Uze and Baker, not that Baker can't do a job, but he's a different sort of player, Adam Uze, to the player that Baker usually plays on. He's a midfield type player, maybe a small forward, but Uze's a genuine attractor of the footy.
Aussie Jones, low ball, and did it well to Fiora. He normally uses it well. Goes in the Guerra direction. Beautifully done for Melbourne by Wheatley. His high kick, not great. McDonald's going to make a contest of it. Dal Santo with the composure and class that he's showing on a regular basis. Across the ground to Aussie Jones. They work this well, the Saints. With the ball, Ackland. He goes in search of Big Fraser. Double team. And Rivers in the end a comfortable mark, and out wide he goes for McDonald, who'll have a bounce. On the Doug Hawkins wing. Just chips it over the top. Rigoni's got his own footy. Should play his 100th every week. Has a bounce. Closes in on the 50. Sets sail with a high ball. Uze, was he being held? Don't matter. Takes a mark anyway.
Yeah, and that's the worry. This bloke is in the top half a dozen most skillful players in the competition. And Stephen Baker will scratch and claw and bite, and not bite, but literally, you know what I mean, figuratively. And right down there, that's where the trouble's going to be.
Adam Uze. Teeth marks on display. As from point blank range, he should kick the Demons third. And that's exactly what he does.
Well, he's a super player, Adam Uze. He came into this season with this amazing unbroken run of games, had a bit of a sternum injury, and it almost forced Neil Danaher to play him forward in the first game of the year against Essendon. And now he looks to be a permanent fixture down there. He's just a wonderful player.
Two in a row for the Demons. Sees them lead it by 9 points early stages here in the first quarter. Still 10 minutes remaining in this one. Ackland. Godfrey. Just banged it to half forward. Xavier Clark elevates. Immediately sees Voss on wide. And he's got clear ground in front. Bizzle now comes at him. Draws the man beautifully. Del Santo can go all the way here. It's a lovely kick. Steps inside 50. Lets it go. And was just trying to get it to the square. I thought he might have gone for home there, but unselfish. As J-Mar takes a spell.
Brett Voss, 4 possessions. James McDonald has a spell as well. Bell and Bruce, the others on the interchange bench.
White, clean possession, needs to dispose of the ball straight away and does. Look at these two hard nuts, Godfrey and Hamill. Hamill just got rid of him and bounced back up. This is Aussie Jones. Squaring ball. Fraser Garrick can't hang on. Scramble at the top of the square. He's going to kick a goal here. Fraser, no! Missed the footy. That's extraordinary.
Had an airy.
He did. Did not get the boot to ball, Gary.
Have a look at this. He didn't love it, did he, the first time?
Big phrase. Not going with the highlights tape on that one, but we will. Voss. Ground level Bizzle. Unorthodox. Exit out of that pack, but got it to White. Sizzling ball, McLean. Sold the dummy by hand. This man here, Ragoni, is getting plenty of it. Uze on his non-preferred side. Won't matter to him. Hit the post.
Well, how quickly it moves. There's Fraser just having a bit of the airy that we've all had on occasions on the golf course, perhaps not in the goal square. Good contest by Godfrey and Hamill.
They move the ball very quickly and very cleanly, Melbourne. Especially when conditions are like this. This is Max Hudson, half-back. High down the line. To a contest. Don't say that very often. Well done, Guerra. Edged Wheatley under it. Took the mark. Former Port Adelaide goal sneak.
Now Rivers has dropped off Hamill. Hamill's led short. Rivers dropped into the hole.
Guerra called to go. Left foot kicks it in the Rivers direction. He's going to have a fly at this. Got hands to it. Milne at ground level. Will have a dip. Don't worry about that. But the Fraser this time gets the jukes around the ball, plays on and cannot miss.
Well, I must admit, I was standing having a look at Jared Rivers, who was hunched over. I thought Fraser was going to go back and take a shot, so I'm waiting for the replay myself. Great crumb from Stevie Milne, that is what he's there for. Now, what happened to Alistair Nicholson in this next occasion is the question. He's got him tied up, right foot up. Would have been a difficult kick. That is unforgivable. You can't just wander off in half a daydream. He was tucked up on the boundary, would have been a very difficult kick.
That was absolutely amazing that Alistair Nicholson would let Garrick walk from a very difficult angle indeed. Would have been a tough shot at goal for Garrick to get his second.
No chance.
Well, it was. It's just inexcusable. I'm not sure what else Nicholson was doing. He had him tucked up on the boundary, right foot. Would have had to have been a banana. Now, we'll see in a minute. He just wanders off.
Ackland knocked down. Ball giving chase. Godfrey right on him. Del Santo, always cool, has great poise, this man. But the kick not so good. And Wheatley with those long arms, able to hold off the St Kilda rush. Ragoni again. Green. Remember Cam Bruce off the ground with an injured shoulder in the very first tackle of the game. And that's allowed Regoni and others to come into the midfield. High over the top, couldn't mark it, Robinson. Rafael Clark and Xavier there running together. The kick to Jones, nice.
His handball onto Frankie Peckett. Further afield, got it to Fiora. Normally good by foot, and is on this occasion. Aaron Hamill. That's out the full.
Going very wide. There's Fraser. Look, Jack, what are you doing, Alistair? He just said he's back to the play. That is just not on.
Jared Rivers. Going to have to bomb it long. Awkward kicking style, but pumps it out there. Look at Miller.
He's giving Maguire a bit of a lesson in the one-on-one stuff.
Goes high. Where's Neat? He's at the back of all of this. Free kick. Going to go to Robertson for a push.
You pushed him out. You gave him that nudge forward, Robert.
I'll tell you,
Yeah, I don't know
2005, Gary, it's a good time to be a key forward.
I don't know whether there was a massive amount in that, to be honest.
I mean, the hands were there, but they were holding, weren't they? They weren't pushing.
No,
You've got to be able to touch your opponent.
that's disappointing.
Robertson, set shot from a free kick. And he converts.
Well, I guess Fraser Geary got a soft one up the other end, so it evens itself out. But you're dead right, Jim. Not a bad time to be a forward. Brad Miller is the player who is so important. If you've got a strong centre-half forward, as we continue to have a look at that poor decision, a strong centre-half forward to play through, it makes a difference. On one end, you've got Hamill leading wide, it goes out in the full. The other hand, it's a contested market centre-half forward, ends up in a goal.
Demons by 9 points. Grant Thomas with his hands full today, playing one of the informed teams of the competition. J Mar in the middle against Blake. Blake did pretty well considering the size difference. Green with the skills we expect of him. Regoni is just getting so much, but love to know what he's had. Ball inboard. Godfrey launches a long one. Uze at the back, in front. Big pack of players off hands. Neat smothered. Peckett. Clark it was, in fact. Handball backwards, so the Saints go wide and find that man, Peckett. Peckett, short ball in the middle to Guerra. Regoni's had 8 touches already. Guerra just bangs his way through.
Too high.
Won himself a free kick, head over the ball.
Thanks.
Well, they're playing eight backmen, the Saints. That's why Regoni's left on his own.
Lenny Hayes, short ball to Hamill, who started well. Look at Fraser with a gap, and the ball goes in that direction. Doesn't get to him on the full. The big turning circle from the G-train, then he just coughs it up. Still in play. Saints work this reasonably well, but the kick straight to Rivers. Blake overruns it. Rivers goes back and gets it. Bell involved, and now ball over the line.
Pretty slippery down there, isn't it? Just under the shaded area. This is the Guerra free kick that was paid, and his arm pinned. He's probably lucky Daniel Bell missed his head. Can't keep their feet over that side of the ground.
Boundary throw in. St.Kilda's end at half forward. They work it out. J Mar with lightning hands. Got it to James McDonald. Spent a bit of time on the pine in the first quarter. There's a push from Uze to Schwartz. No goal. Will come back.
Schwartz has got the job on Uze now after Baker was just a little out of his depth. That's a free kick. That's a two-movement motion.
Hamill. Uze just saying he used his hips, but definitely some hands in there. Kick to half forward. Bizzle couldn't mark where. A kick smothered by Wheatley. Voss hard at it. Keeps it alive. Godfrey now under enormous pressure. Bizzle will be hoping for the line here because the Lenny Hayes and Brett Guerra double tackle won't let him loose. Let's go down to Chris Jones.
I think we can safely say that Cameron Bruce's day is over. He's just emerged from the rooms with his arm in a sling.
Gee whiz, that is shocking news for Melbourne and for the man himself.
Was and has been on fire this year, the Brownlow favourite, along with perhaps Chris Judd, Milne, Long ball. Garrick gets a move on, but Bizzle did well to work back into the hole.
Half a ground to work in here.
Pumps it out the other side. Bell got to gather. Look at Ozzy come in and steal it. He can go all the way, or he can go short and get at the boss, who has one on the afternoon. Kicked that at the 2-minute mark.
Well, it's cruel, isn't it? Bizzle went back with a flight and then laid this kick. It just bounced the wrong way. They were away, Melbourne. They had the whole half of the ground to work in. Bizzle's opponent runs across the other side and takes an uncontested chest mark.
So Brett Voss, set shot. Perfect conditions at the Telstra Dome. And the perfect angle of what's ahead of Brett Voss. He's done it pretty well. It's there.
He's a nice player, Brett Voss. He's a very accomplished footballer. And he's gone forward today. He's got, I'm not sure that Clint Bizzle's the exact right matchup. Bizzle is a wonderful attacking halfback who likes to back himself. But Voss is drawing the footy.
It's an oval ball, Gary. Just cruel for the Melbourne Footy Club on that occasion.
The observation that makes him a very astute caller, that ball.
Ball back in the middle and ready to go. A 3-point advantage for the Demons. Voss with a couple. Garrick with a couple. Out of the middle here. They're very good at this. Green looking for Davey at the back. Couldn't quite hold it. Gathers it. This is where he's good. He's very evasive. Skills are on display there. Gave it to Miller. Uze and Neats in the square. What could happen? Offhand Swartz. Able to rush it through for a behind. And the D's by 4 points with just over 3 minutes remaining in the quarter.
I think it was touch play on that umpire was trying to get out. Gary, as the kick comes back in, it's a good one. Peckett steps around, bit of trouble for him. Ball, lots of trouble for him. They cough it up to Neats, to Godfrey. The turnover from the kick in, always dangerous. Can White make them pay? Yeah, hits the post.
Riding at home, Jeff White. No such luck. 9 possessions, Brett Voss at the other end of the ground. Very good start in the game.
Ozzy Jones.
Great kick.
Up the middle corridor to Maguire. He's got to move. Bell's going to try and track him down. Got rid of him. Backed himself, Maguire. A bounce to half forward. Who can get on the end of it? Ackland couldn't. Nicholson there as well. And a minor score.
Wheatley now being moved on to Brett Voss. Saints to be pretty happy, I reckon, to be 4 points adrift.
Rivers gets a lot of ball at half-back. Off to Jack Nicholson. Short he goes. And Brown will slip it over the top to Miller. They work it well. Green, very good hands. Highly skilled individuals. Left foot, ball to Uze, supreme. Green by foot, almost as good as it gets. This man's not bad either, Adam Uze.
A lot of traffic wasn't there, just a couple of little bit of protection, made a little bit of space for him. He'd be a very good bet from here, Adam Uze.
Very good junior cricketer, Green, and if you can play that game, Gary, normally got a fair bit of skill.
Something you wouldn't be familiar with at this particular stage.
Adam Uze, this is. Has the one on the afternoon. And this is going to make it number 2.
Yes, that's not booing you're hearing, that is oohs. The call goes up. Someone's got to go and take the front spot. Max Hutchton, just to the left of the screen there, was out the front. He is the bloke who should have peeled off and taken the Uze lead instead of trying to everyone take a man in that situation. When it's like a reverse huddle, the forwards huddle. You've almost got a zone. Have one at the front, one at the back.
Uze with a couple. The Demons by 10 points, the biggest margin so far as we near the end of the first quarter. Minute and a half left. Del Santo got an entry inside 50. Milne, some say being held. Umpires don't agree. Bizzle had to get rid of it quickly. Hayes, his work was good. Hamill sets up Milne at the left. Centering ball. Garrick behind. Off hands Upland. Handball. Voss. Goal number 3, is it? I think it is. It's there.
Well, good kick from Stephen Milne. Terrific spot to put the ball rather than kick the impossible or try and break 3 or 4 tackles. Lenny Hayes may have been a touch fortunate there. The ball spills free. That is a touch fortunate, but this is the play. Just left foot, top of the square, make something happen. Rivers misjudged it. Ackland almost made a mess of it. Voss kicks a goal.
Saints with a late one. Very tight and entertaining first term at the Dome. White high, thumps it forward, Miller charging through. Time for a late one here for the D's. Davey was being held, no free. Clark steps through traffic. Fisher to Jones. Will load up on the left from half back, just kicks it high in the air. Having to stand under it, McDonald. Turnover the Saints. Voss. Long ball forward, Milne. Brown, Gary, look at Big Fraze. Stands, gets around Rivers and kicks a goal.
Great effort.
Got 3.
That is a great effort from Fraser Gary. And, well, Jared Rivers almost did everything right, except let him get past. He didn't rush him. The Big Fraser backs himself. He backs himself to shrug a tackle, backs himself to get around. Now, just here, perhaps he could have backed off a bit rather than trying to close it as he did, but he got around him and banged it on the left. That is a fantastic performance.
2 minutes ago, the Saints were down by 10 points. Fraser Gary kicks his 3rd magnificently and puts them up by 2 with just a few seconds in the first remaining. White to Green. James McDonald committing himself at ground level. Hamill caught one. Umpire will play advantage this time. Jones from 45 launches on the siren. It's there. 3 in a row for the Saints, and there is the siren. The Saints fans love it.
That is the St Kilda that were installed as pre-season favourite for the premiership. That man is out for the afternoon, Cameron Bruce, with a shoulder injury. But the Saints have just...
Unlikely quarter-time leaders. Melbourne with some work to do as we get the second term underway. White high, the clearance again to the D's. Green inside the 50. Miller with the hands out the front, but couldn't take it. Peckett at the back. Reads it nicely. Left foot down the line, missed its target of Del Santo. Godfrey, eyes only for the footy. Bizzle, Rigoni.
Having a look to see if there's been a bit of a reshuffle. Looks like Bizzle's gone back to Voss now. He was moved off him. Wheatley went on to Voss, but he's now back.
What have they done with Rigoni, Gary, when you get a chance? He had 8 possessions in that first quarter and was on fire. Interesting to see. He's got him as well. Centre wing. The even contest. Thompson, Fiora. On the Hayes. Driving kick. Garrick's one out down there with Nicholson. Trying to take it on the chest. Nicholson got a timely fist there. Garrick doesn't give up. What does he do now? Beautiful handball. Thompson follows up his own good work.
Oh, my goodness.
He has, from 10 metres out, he's sent it sideways.
Fraser just starting to look a little sharper every single minute he plays, and he's got a big bag of goals coming very soon. Melbourne will hope it's not this afternoon. Unforgivable miss, by the way.
Green picking up some of the Cameron Bruce slack. Gets it to Nicholson. Gets it back from Nicholson. Will unload on the left. Watch this. Long ball to a contest inside the 50. The Clark boys do some work back there. This is Xavier in real trouble. Bounces off a couple. Did really well. Peckett outside of the boot to Del Santo. His short ball, not great. And bounces in front of Voss over the line. Voss kicked 3 goals in the first term.
Better effort by Xavier Clark. Critical of him in that first quarter as we see the Bizzle-Voss matchup, but he really put his head over the footy then, took a bump or two. Rigoni and Fiora, they have been together all afternoon, Brian, but Aaron Fiora is getting a bit of a caning at the minute.
Centre wing, and there he is, the man in question, Fiora. Little light ball, found Guerra. He can play on if he wishes, elects not to, and go back. Nothing was on. Derek offers something in the corridor, but he goes very wide to an unmanned Voss. Had a couple of inches on Rivers, the handball to Hamill. Hamill hits Corral, back Voss. Del Santo, over the top, Guerra, great vision, great execution. And Guerra, about 25 metres out. Will line up for his first.
What sets players apart? Why wouldn't you get the ball into the hands of someone like Nick Del Santo? He's such a creative player, he's got such vision, and he's got beautiful touch.
No goals this year so far for Brent Guerra. From about 25 metres out to extend the Saints lead. Kick on the way is there. Saints have got 4 in a row.
Yes, and the challenge is now fairly and squarely at the feet of Melbourne. St.Kilda have just served it up beautifully in the past 5 minutes. And the Demons, who are going along nicely, have got their #1 playmaker out of the contest for the rest of the game. This is the Clark effort down the other end. 3 Melbourne players at him. Still 4, 5, still good enough to get the footy away. They need a lift from their skipper, David Neitz. He needs to give a bigger contest.
Some concerns in the Melbourne box after the Saints have kicked the last 4 goals of the game. And they've kicked them in 5 minutes. That'll give you something to worry about. Del Santo. Handball to Xavier Clark. Left foot delivery forward. Hamill, beautifully done. Just couldn't glove the mark. Brown on the up to Rigoni. Back to Brown. Heffernan. Brown in real trouble. Huge trouble. Rivers comes in. He's slapped into the turf. The forward pressure from the Saints, excellent.
That was just Aaron Hamill. That was Aaron Hamill's pressure that brought about that. He may have only laid 1 tackle, but they knew he was coming, and that caused a little fumble.
15-point advantage for the Saints. Ackland.
Hanging on, Jeff White.
There's the umpire, Michael Avon there, hanging on. Jeff's free kick.
Just dried up at the moment. Del Santo's carving him up.
Jeff White wide. Looking for Heffernan, off hands Del Santo. And over the line. Boundary throw in.
12 possessions for Nick Del Santo, and Aaron Hamill, who's a ferocious competitor. You do need to be a touch careful, nothing wrong with that, but you need to be a touch careful.
Oh, Gary.
Well, you want to have another look at it, Brian?
Perhaps if you wish.
All right, we'll have another look at it for you, Brian, just for you.
You've talked me into it, Gary.
Okay.
He's late on the scene.
We need another angle then, if you want to go down to that down that track.
Blood rule here for Ackland. He'll come off the ground, and a couple of players remonstrating with him there.
Well, now would be a time as Ackland comes off. Straight off.
Got to go off. No one ready to come on. That's the trouble.
Confusion here.
Umpire.
Here's another look at Aaron Hamill. Well, you can't see if any contact's made, but you wouldn't want to be jumping into packs that way. I mean, take any doubt. Well,
Chris Heffernan's given his own bloke a corky.
Yeah, he might have been a bit agitated.
Lenny Hayes, the pickup is very good. High ball, Rivers peels off and will fly from the front. Good hands, good anticipation, good footballing from North Adelaide. Gets it to Uze.
On the ball now, the such is a concern for Melbourne.
Gets it to Brown. Nicholson. Got to try and get Neitz involved in this game somehow. Here comes Davey. The exciting Aaron Davey. Goes to ground, was pushed.
On top of his back. Landed on top of him.
You can hear the umpire say it. He landed on top of Davey. Did Xavier Clark. We'll have a look at it. There you go.
Nothing intentional from Clark's point of view, that's for sure. Technically, it's a free, but
that's where you ended
I
up.
think that's what Brian is. It who is that? That's Steve McBurney. That's what he's saying. A very important kick this, because St Kilda have been dominant in the last 10 minutes, boys. Melbourne haven't looked like getting their hands on the footy. He's only 1 in 3 chance from this position of the ground, Davey, since 2002.
Here he goes. That's very good. No. Woodwork. It was very good, Gary, up until the moment it hit the woodwork.
It was coming back nicely, James.
The Melbourne coaching box, seeing what they can do to arrest this confident passage or series of plays from the Saints. Mark taken wide there from Fisher. Sets up Peckett on the wing. He's got Del Santo running in support. He'll look to draw. McDonald, he did it well. Del Santo on his favoured left side. A bounce, time. Garrick doubles back on Nicholson. It's long, too long. So the minor score there.
Del Santo now up to 13 touches. Mind you, his opponent early in this game, Brad Green's had 10.
Wheatley. Dees. Under siege just as we speak. Bombs it long. White should take the mark or get an interference throw.
Yeah,
Didn't get either of them. Going for the ball. You heard the umpire. This is well worked by Uze on Schwartz, and the ball's over the line.
Good move to get Schwartz onto Uze. It's just dried up for him. There's the Melbourne bench. Heffernan, Bell and Jamar with Bruce out for the day.
What's a block? What's a block?
Pushing and shoving. Blake tried to ease it down to Del Santo, ran into his own man. There's Uze. Inching kick forward. Miller at the back. Davey with the speed. 2-on-1 situation here for the D's. Picked it up. Godfrey. Handball to Davey. Outside of the boot. Look at it. Bend its way. Goal! Off the ground. Neats.
Well, how clever was the Aaron Davey kick? He only needs the tiniest amount of room to do his work. Look at this kick. He meant this. That is a left foot banana that was always going to come back, and David Neitz, like a good finisher in soccer, was just there for the cross. Whacked it in the back of the net. Just started to get a couple of important touches, Davey, in the last minute or so, and they needed him to. He was very quiet.
David Neitz. Gary called for a bit of a lift from the skipper, and he's found a goal, and it gets the Demons within 9 points midway through this second quarter. Green to Brown to half forward. Saints have got the numbers here. 3-on-1, 2-on-1. Peckett happy to find the boundary line and allow the Saints defenders to grab their opponents.
Watch this kick, Brian. Have a look at this kick. Watch it curl its way. It's back towards goal. Goes out to the middle, comes back towards goal. Neat's beautiful.
The great setup. Aaron Davey has been closely monitored today by Xavier Clark, who's done a pretty good job on him. But he's always dangerous, Davey, and here he is. Godfrey. Handballed out in front.
Good decision by the umpire.
In the last line of defence for the Saints. Electing to go to the city side of the dome here. It's to go with a long ball. Contested ball. It'll be to Blake, but Bizzle at the back. Landed awkwardly, but marked nicely. Centering ball. They're away here. Ragoni. Over the top to McLean. Runs inside 50. Missed.
Showing a few changes, haven't they, the Demons, as Milne sits and Baker sit together on the interchange bench. Uze back up in the middle of the ground to try and win some footy.
Starting to redress the balance in general play, Gary. They were getting pumped 10 minutes ago, the D's. Thompson. This is good forward pressure now from Melbourne. Xavier Clark back to Thompson. Just a high ball. Hamill couldn't hang on. Rivers did well. Jumped in there. Del Santo involved. Ackland. Demons are going to win it. Johnston. Low ball forward. Davey, left foot shot. Have a look at this kid. He is just about as good as it gets inside the forward 50.
Well, he has lifted Aaron Davies. He has certainly lifted. Brian called it beautifully. The Clark, Xavier, of course, had done a very good job on him, but he only needs a couple of opportunities and a little bit of space to do a bit of damage. He's had the big hand in the last two. Travis Johnston, the other player that Melbourne need to get busy, just had his second kick for the afternoon, his second possession for the afternoon.
No flooding, chipping, or any of that silly play here today. It's full-on attack from both sides. And the Demons have come back with a couple of late goals to be within 2 points of the Saints. White, clever to Bizzle. Come off the back of the square, Bizzle, and banged it to half forward. Sylvia's got to beat a couple. Now one. Might have got a free. He does. Got into his back there. Pecker, I think it may have been. Sylvia to play on Neitz. A genuine one out here. Hutchton did well to bring it to ground and rush the behind. So a point that evidence. Let's have a look at this man who just has all the skills of the game covered, Gary.
Well, again, tight turning circle, Brian. Not much space needed. Lovely kick.
Great awareness for the big sticks. 2-on-1 situation here again for Melbourne. Starting to get the numbers around the footy. Godfrey just stumbled forward with the ball. He's gone.
Well, Nick Dalsano in the goal scorer on his own at the moment. He's just having a spell. Melbourne slow to pick it up. Bizzle getting down there.
Guerra looking for Gehrig. Gonna find him. Got three. He's off. He's off. Big phrase. Where are you going? Right foot around the corner to the hot spot. Rivers, good composure. Got it to Johnston. And he'll have a bounce. He's going to ground. Slippery surface here at the Dome. Johnston into White, who takes a good mark.
Plays on immediately to Rigoni. Rigoni up
look at
the ball green.
Turn around.
He'll go over the top. He's got Davey and Neitz waiting. Still no one. St.Kilda played it well to hold him up in Hutchton. But he didn't have a look, Gary.
No, he didn't. I guess when you're almost the best goal kicker in the competition, maybe the instruction is when you get a mark inside 50 to go back and have a shot. But big Fraser mucked it up there.
He did. Nicholson was alert this time, thank goodness.
Yep.
Robinson coming for a spell to the bench as well. But this to put the Demons back in front. Brad Green, as Gary said, this is one of the best parts of his game. Has lifted in the absence of Cam Bruce today with that shoulder. 35 metres out directly in front. Look at that. It's there. The Demons with 3 in a row are back in front.
Well, it's a strange old game. It's after it was goal for a long part of this match. It was then both sides have had nice little run-ons here. That was good play by White to move the ball as quickly as he did to Green. Had he got off the mark quickly, Green, he might have been able to turn around and see that both Neitz and Davey were on his own. It didn't matter because James and Brian, you could just put that in your textbook. Send that around to every young kid in Australia.
Australian footy.
Demons with the lead. Kicked the 3 in a row. Brian Taylor mentioned we're back in the centre. Off the line, Rigoni. Unable to take it away, McDonald. Secondary bounce. The bench starting to really fatigue the trainers.
Nick Dalsano having a rest as well at the moment. He's got 14 possessions.
Knock it out. Play on.
Oh, well done. Johnston did really well. Broke that up, and then the kick round the corner is a sensation. Brock McLean. Man with 2 surnames in his name. Inside the 50, Miller. Got about 3 to beat in the air. In the end, got nowhere near it. Got it, will pick it up. And across the face of goals, a dangerous kick, Sylvia. And Baker. Again, the bounce of the ball not helping the Melbourne player. Maguire over the top to Peckett.
He was cool, got it there. Now the Saints come marching along the Doug Hawkins wing. Ackland with a low kick, finds Hamill, fingertipper. Long way from home, 70 out. Garrick's on the lead with Nicholson. The ball had a little bit too much hook on it, and Guerra has to go. Johnston was very clever. The little knock to McDonald was intelligent football. McDonald, no problems breezing past Guerra there. The kick inboard to Miller, he went over. Milne there. Keeps it alive for the Saints, tries to bust the tackle, but already a free had been paid to the way.
Man with 2 surnames, apparently. Intriguing fact.
Had his jumper, said the umpire. McLean from the centre square. Fine. Finds Sylvia. Sylvia lets rip. Touched off the boot.
Yeah. Good effort, Stephen Baker. Big diving effort. Could have made more of that, but now the Saints are being challenged. Here's the free kick. Got a hold of the jumper there, the number 5, Guernsey.
Milne. In fact, it's Baker outside.
Oh.
Just a little short ball. You'll get it back here, Stevie Baker. Running forward to the wing. This is Milne. Rivers he had to beat in the air. Nicholson in front, did well. The look-away handball missed Brown. Brown's handball was good.
Free kick, play on.
Free kick paid, doesn't matter. McDonald at centre-half back. The D's now with a nice little bit of momentum. Ahead of steam, Gary. Kicks it forward. Unfortunate for Neitz. He hasn't been able to get into this game at all. Baker to Goddard, and the Saints a chance.
Centre wing. Goddard wide, sees Voss loose. Voss kicked 3 first-quarter goals. Hasn't been cited a lot in this quarter. The short one to Garrick on the lead. And he also got 3 first-quarter goals. And he'll line up here from 45 metres.
See, it opened up beautifully for Fraser, and that was a good lead. It's a skill leading, as Brian knows better than anyone. Just to time your lead, look at him go there. Timed it right, waited till Voss was settled, and some space opened up beautifully. Might be a bit disappointed Melbourne, the Demon coaching box, that 1 or 2 midfielders didn't push into that hole, but what's that mean there, Brian?
Big Fraser for his 4th goal and to tie the ball game up. Not such a good attempt, out of bounds on the full.
I think that stat that came up told us that he wasn't going to score. It was preempting beautifully.
White. Shorten finds Bell.
I think he's Bet Voss's 4th opponent, Daniel Bell.
11 minutes remaining in the half. Uze finds Nicholson out of sight.
Has got Goddard further afield. He's going to go longer. Here comes Neitz, but Clark across in front of him. Been a good player, Ralph Clark. Across the ground. Brock McLean. Oh, nice. The hands.
He does everything you want him to do when you need him to do it. This kid, the NAB Rising Star nominee from last week.
And ball off to Johnston. Now we get Neitz on a break. Oh, just waited for the ball to get to him. Instead of doing like the great Brian Taylor used to and getting the jukes out in front, Brian, and squeezing the air out of it. Just got to present with the hands, Brian reckons, to Big Nita.
You're demonstrating, Brian. Now talk it through.
What is it, Brian?
Exactly as you put it.
What, the bit about you being great or the bit about him putting his hands out?
Both.
Peckett, claim from behind. The numbers tell for the Saints. Fiora, low ball, good to Guerra. Hamill running for him. Guerra will go to the fat side of the ground. This is ball. He goes for Fraser, who's got Nicholson beat. And Fraser thinks about playing on. He seems to be in that mindset just at the moment. Now he goes back and he'll take a shot.
He put the last one out on the full from not too far away from this, probably further out, tougher kick. He's the sort of player who'll bang it straight through the middle. So 60%, he's had 25 shots from this part of the ground since 2002, and he's managed to kick 15 of them.
Let's have a look at Big Fraser Gehrig. This is a better kick. Right through the centre. Saints bite back.
That's Big Fraser in a nutshell, you would suggest. Easier shot minutes earlier, just sprayed it out of bounds on the full. There's the big shove, the big. He didn't get the first one. Double back. So, Gary, I think Alistair Nicholson had to get in front of him rather than trail him back into the goal square. And he went back and he just struck it so sweetly. 4 goals. He's looking very ominous, Fraser.
Fraser Gehrig with his 4th goal. 3 of those in the first quarter. Scores level here with 5 minutes remaining in the half. Goddard went without it in the end. Ball. The acting captain today.
Very high scoring affair at the moment. 9 goals to 8. Still 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. No flooding, as you pointed out earlier in the piece. It's the way people want to see footy.
Attacking footy. If you come here today, regardless of who you support, you'd be liking the contest. Peckett, McLean, now Davey. Had it gathered and spent before he'd done either. Ball loose. Rafael Clark, Jones through traffic. Goddard. And now they find a bit of space out the back door with Hudson. And he's able to open the vision up and get it wide to Maguire. Centre wing, Miller starts to close him down with a good chase. But Maguire sends it down in the direction of Hamill. Free kicks paid. Against him.
Gee whiz.
Against Hamill.
That seems to be a staggering decision. Whether we missed something or not, I don't know.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
No.
You've got to allow them to touch and push.
Just to show us strength.
Neats. Good hands. Talking about strength right there. Big Nita.
That is where the umpires have got carried away with the rules. They are taking out any contact whatsoever in our game.
He may just have a fly at this, the skipper.
Distance, no problem for the big man when he does kick the ball properly. A little bit of left to right off the boot.
Got the one on the afternoon. Let's look for the distance. Let's look for the left to right. Oh, he's kicked a copter. Still got it half goal post height, Gary.
She shanked that about 55. He didn't hit it well at all, did David Needs. Now again, look, 2 players that engage in a marking contest. Both got a hold. That is play on. Bit of a shove. That is okay. That is a mark. That is a bad decision to be turned over.
And proceeded to chase the umpire after that for an explanation, did Aaron Hamill. And I agree. Ball under enormous pressure. Swartz there to assist. Now Jones last line. He goes very wide to the back pocket where he spots up and finds Ralph Clark.
He has been good, this man.
Indeed, he looks cool. Kicks wide to Voss. Led under the ball nicely by Bell. Now it's a foot race. Bell did well. Kept it in play. Heffernan's been quite-ish. McDonald back to Bell. Melbourne starting to leak. Risky kick. Johnston dropped the mark he should have taken. Now they'll turn it over. Del Santo. Jones. Can he see the player coming? Yes. Kick around the body. Milne's got loose and he'll mark. Too far out, I would think. Blake's on, he ignores that. Gehrig's on and he ignores that. Big Fraser's not happy. Big Fraser shook the head in disgust. And he's on again. Fraser.
Putting a lot of pressure on the ball carrier.
Milne not happy. Or Fraser not happy. Milne now goes short of the chip over the top. And this one he shouldn't have gone.
Free kick.
Your arm was around his shoulder. Your arm was around his shoulder as you went for the ball.
Fraser didn't even know he was going to get that.
Fraser was disgusted that Milne hadn't kicked it to him earlier. The slightest of contact is going to be called by umpires this year.
It is now a game of bluff if you're a player. Throw the head back and react to any contact and the ball's yours.
Gee whiz. Gee whiz.
But Big Fraser, no denying his form today. He's come to play. And he's kicked 4 so far.
He was always going to be a problem. Brought Nicholson back, dropped Ferguson for the specific reason.
Fraser Gehrig on the preferred side for a left footer. This one bends the opposite direction, goes out of bounds on the full.
He's kicked 4 straight, Fraser. 4 straight.
And the other 2 out in the full. So when he misses bad, and has missed bad to the left.
He poked at that instead of getting that nice bit of curl that he gets when he kicks from outside 50.
Got no control over the draw on the slice at the minute, Big Fraser. He's just poking it all over the place. This is Brown. Goes in the Neats direction. This time the hands out the front, Brian.
Kick it. Let Davey run.
Oh, Davey interfered with. We'll get a free.
Yeah, no doubt about it. it forward 50. All he needed to do was kick it into space. Aaron Davey would have beaten anyone.
Still 50 metres. 50 metres, take David Neitz down there. Not against Stu Max, against Stephen Baker. Right here, goes down 50.
Yeah, here you go, top of screen.
Advantage than paying the free kick here.
There he goes, and that's the decision. You heard it there, Steve McBurney. David Neitz still had the footy in his hands, therefore the free kick doesn't go to Davey, which was 15 metres further on. It gets a 50-metre penalty.
Neitz, 20 out, slight angle. Should kick his second. And extend this team and lead to 7 points. He's got it.
And his hands are just starting to work, aren't they, David Neitz? A couple of big one-grabbers here. But look, here it is, the free kick. Stephen Baker says, well, I ain't going to be able to chase. I ain't. How am I going? I'm not going to be able to chase Aaron Davey in the goal square. I better stop him right here. The only problem was he got picked up by the umpire, and the 50-metre penalty was awarded. He's trying to niggle Davey.
Bit of niggle here now with Baker and Davey, and Miller going over for support of young Aaron Davey.
Might be the best bet for Stephen Baker, because I'm not sure he's going to be able to catch him.
Umpires having a big say in proceedings here in this second quarter. White with a clear knockout. Sylvia got rid of it in time. McDonald, the combination in the middle is good for the D's. Johnston with foot skills. Spots up McLean. Will he take work for Carcon? He does. Back on the left, high ball. Here's Davey. Watch, he's closing in on here. Traps the ball, and the Saints were in trouble if he did. And Davey just taking some frustration out. Has given a free. Oh, boy.
He's getting a bit frustrated now, Davey, with a few issues that are going on.
Well,
it's unnecessary, but nothing untoward from Schwartz, and that is the frustration of a young man.
boy, Schwartz kick. Lucky over the top. Fiora and Guerra combining. Had to get rid of it. Fiora was tackled, thrown to the ground by Wheatley. Crowd want a free. Look at them go crazy in the out of there.
They're going quite, they're very agitated over there, Bob.
Not sure what that man in the middle was doing, bro.
Some aerobics.
Very strange arm movements.
20 seconds.
Time enough for a score if we can get some clean possession. Stepping through, Johnston wrapped up in the tackle. Inside the last 10, that's it. That's the scoring done for the half.
Get ready for a loud bit of... a little bit in this at the moment, boys. The half-time might come at the right time for both teams because it's just set to spill over.
The siren will sound.
Hanging on to him. Melbourne's.
The D's will take a 7-point lead into the half.
And Aaron Hamill, as he can do, he is in the midst of it, just stirring things up. The Saints opened up a bit of a lead. It was the Demons who hit back. Davey and Neitz started to get busy. This is a good game of footy, a good contest. Not so if you're Cameron Bruce. Off with the first tackle of the game, an injured shoulder to play.
Second half, set to go. White and Ackland. Umpire gets in Ackland's way. White gets a clean slap at it. This is Maguire. The don't argue on McLean. Miller picks it up, steps through a couple. Travis Johnston. High ball, look at Neitz, come at it. Fist from Maxie Hutchinson, good. Uze trying to go with the outside of the foot. That was, to borrow one from Dennis Cometti, ambitious.
Bit of a laugh to Zetamuzo. Good spoil from Hutchinson. Be careful not to take the arms in the modern era.
Oh yeah, no contact. Players are on red alert in that area. Davey, what an excitement machine. This, the one over the shoulder from beyond 50. Closing was Robinson. Melbourne can find a little more out of him in this second half. Are we well on their way to a victory? Uze committed the body. Got it back to the man. Now can he make it happen from the boundary line? Ball kept him honest. Great smother. The acting captain today, just brilliant stuff. Del Santo is corralled deep. Got to work here. Does Fisher, did it nicely. Ackland, the mark, and he's able to run and drill the ball long. Milne's on the lead. Brown's got him covered. Did well, Brown. Fended the tackle. Rivers. Soccer still alive. Hamill. Got Garrick in the square. Tie. Garrick. No. Wheatley did well to get a hand there. And the Demons in trouble.
Kick's going to find touch. Demon player banged into the boards as Cameron Bruce's day's done.
That is showered and changed. Great smother from Luke Ball. Great spoil from Paul Wheatley. And big hit from Brett Guerra on Nathan Brown.
Brownie! Let it go, Dave, not too hard. Brownie, stay with your man.
Don't knock too hard, according to the umpire. Del Santo with a bit of ducking and weaving. And then the centering ball sits up for Rivers. Milne at the back was he held. Picks it up, brought to ground. No handball fired out. Handball from Ralph Clark was very good. Finish from Hamill was outstanding.
Good start. They've come out pretty fired up. The Saints. A little bit of vigour in them. Raphael. Yep. Yeah, whatever. Clark. Here's the hit of Guerra on Brown, which is a big hit. All fair and legal.
Was okay.
Yep, no problem at all. A bit fortunate here, taking the ground, Milne, and then given the opportunity to dispatch of it, but Hamill, good enough and classy enough to get the goal.
Just got a good, honest game of football on our hands here at the Dome today. Point the difference Demons' way. Third quarter ball with a clearance out of the middle for the Saints. Down into the danger zone. Hamill seems to have lifted. Rivers. Green now to Bizzle. Got the ball wide to McLean. Centre wing playing through the corridor. Not going wide. Couple of bounces. Delivery is great to Uze. And might even get a penalty here to go with it. No.
You pulled him down. You go back, Adam. Just go back and take your kick. Thanks, Troy.
Not short of a word, Adam Uze. Now, Brock McLean is a good user of the footy, boys. Kicked this very low and didn't go too wide. He almost kicked it to where he thought Adam Uze could lead.
Almost like there was a fence on the outer side of the ground there that they refused to go outside the corridor, Melbourne, when they get it right. And Adam Uze will line up for his third goal.
Has not missed to the left, according to these statistics. So he either kicks the goal or misses to the right. So if he starts at left goal post by
60% chance of being successful. Uze, the left footer, comes in, and that's exactly where he started it. And he has kicked his third goal of the game.
That is a great goal-kicking statistic, and it's an example of a player who kicks for goals who knows exactly the way he kicks. Now, do you understand what I mean?
Gotcha, Gary.
He will, unlike some players, probably Ken Kingsley in lots of ways, he can spray them left or right.
Yes.
He will either kick it straight or bring the ball to his right, and that's exactly what he's done.
Just a quick learning curve for you there, JB, from the great man.
Very
well, I looked at you, you bristling moustacher, and I thought, I'm not going to go there.
In the centre, Uze, goal number 3. Big fist forward from White. Johnston, well worked, Del Santo. Guerra, handball back to Aussie Jones, that sweeping roll that he does so well. Keeps it low, Goddard, dropped what he should have taken. Over the line.
A little bit of work to do, Brendan Goddard, just to get himself up to speed.
Walk it away, Goddard. Come on, Goddard.
Just getting some verbal advice there from the Biz. This time White from the back.
Umpire didn't know Brendan Goddard's Christian name there.
No, just Goddard was enough for him.
I wouldn't take fancy to that, actually. I'd be turning around and just letting him
Doesn't take much to upset you, Brian, let's be honest.
Oh, come on, Gary. You've been so grumpy today.
Here's the boundary throw-in. Ackland, clean possession. Kicks it to no one in the centre of the ground. It's a foot race, Brian. And Rivers will get there first. Spins out of a couple. No foot soldiers there with him. And Peckett able to bring it away on the left. Lovely fingertip toenail pick-up from Voss. And it's going to be Johnston for the D's with the footy.
Stole it magnificently to Neitz on the bounce. Got the hands out to Davies, squeezed it to Robertson. Desperation from Xavier Clark was marvellous. Sets up Goddard. Hanmore, Mill, marks from 50. Tries to sell the dummy on Brown. He's alert to it. And the little chip wide was good. And Garrick marks. Wide, but okay for the left footer.
Lucky he got it to Fraser. Fraser was going to... Now, Xavier Clark, well, I was critical of him in the first game. First quarter, didn't think he went back hard enough with a footy. Since then, he has been very, very good. His defensive efforts have been great.
Garrick to get the Saints back within a point if he can kick his 5th goal. Oh, boy, Fraser. Just a lack of confidence to get through it there. He's been stabbing at you all day. And that one to the right. Grant on the phone with the message. Garrick 5 marks inside the 50 today, so that's a big plus for the Saints.
Is it ever? Just poke. He gets into trouble when he pokes at it. Fraser, he just should go back and kick through the footy.
Wheatley does poke at it, but with good accuracy. And he gets it to Nathan Brown.
Like when you poke outside the off stump, JB.
Well,
saw a bit of vision today. You
every now and then you do,
stepped away from the quickie.
Oh, don't worry. Stepped is being kind. Ran away. This is Miller at centre-half forward. Got in his own player's way. And the Saints can mop it up as Ozzie Jones, with some space, down in the Guerra direction. Had to stand for a long time, but took the mark well.
Put the numbers back, Melbourne.
Inboard. Ball. Ball goes to Voss. Good movement.
I'll tell you what, the kick from Luke Ball. Melbourne had 2 players back. We sometimes don't appreciate how good these blokes are. That is a skillful kick as you're likely to see this afternoon.
Voss with 3 goals in the first term, so he likes kicking them to this end. Should convert and tie it up. It's a famous footy name, and he's getting the job done.
And Michael didn't play yesterday, so Brett deciding to turn it on. He now has 4. Fraser Garrick has 4. This kick from Luke Ball, no space, no room, no numbers. He only had a second to sum that up. Only looked up, split second. And the great players can see where the gap is, kick to the hole and let him run into it. Much appreciated by the likes of Powell and Harvey and others.
The Saints bring it back to a level ball game with lots of time left in the 3rd quarter. 2 goals to St. Kilda in this 3rd quarter, 1 to the Demons. Travis Johnson could have earned himself a free. No ball. Oh, he's a hard worker. Del Santo on his wrong side. Handball to the middle. Ackland just crashes through from 45 metres out. Not a lot of time to think about it. Long ball. Nicholson had Garrick under control. And the kick slightly offline, but the Saints back in front by just the 1 point.
Del Santo and Ball just starting to get busy in the middle of the ground. Just...
Probably no free there.
No free. James McDonald has got Del Santo.
1 point ball game. The Saints. This is Bell. Kick down the line, broken up by Raph Clark. Maguire just pounded by Miller.
He's got it. He's got it. He's got it as well. He's hanging it in there. Thank you.
Out of bounds. Look at that for a ball burster, Gaz.
Yeah, good hard. Both boys, Maguire and Miller. Hard boys.
Where Miller probably had you covered, you know, with that sort of hard body stuff. Carriers, Pickett tries to stream away. He runs into trouble. Ackland. They wrap it up, and we'll have another bounce.
Nothing there. John, go on the ball.
Never seems to give Miller much credit either.
No,
the great Gary Lyon
doesn't.
No, my word, I do. He's a fine young man.
The bench for the Saints. Some talent sitting right there, but they're doing okay out on the track. 1 point lead. Lenny Hayes worried out of it. Bell didn't have it. Aussie Jones starting to get involved. Left foot ball, that's not great. And Robertson takes the mark.
Playing off half back, sends it to Miller. Dropped the mark, he should have taken in the end. Then tried to sell the dummy. Handball comes off. Godfrey got it to Ragoni. Around the body for the 100-gamer to put the Demons back in front.
It is a good game of footy. It is a good game of footy. Goals flowing pretty freely. Russell Robertson started that, boys, and he has gone to half-back. Had a pretty quiet afternoon as a forward. Simon Godfrey and the umpire just running into each other there. Bradley Miller made the initial mistake, but recovered nicely. And there is Guy Ragoni, kicked a couple of beauties now.
D's back in front. Seesawing encounter.
Goal for goal.
Almost could say that, Brian. Johnston with a bounce and some space. Back through the corridor as they always do, the D's.
Free kick.
And that was very nicely done by Maguire. Mark, free kick didn't matter.
Hold it there.
Ralph Clark.
Play on.
Hamill. It's been a good day for Sammy.
A long way from home, though. Probably 2 kicks to get to Gehrig from here. This big phrase pushes out.
It's like he's seen big phrase. Only got 7 blokes to beat.
Robertson's gone back to half-back, Gus, has he?
Yeah, he has. He's gone. He's had a quiet... he set up the last goal, actually. Took a good mark. He's picking up Brendan Goddard. It's not a bad move. Takes some pressure off him. Let him run straight at the footy.
Rivers and Hamill. Hamill got a hand in there. Now at ground level he works hard. And there will be a bounce as Goddard comes from the ground and Baker comes back on.
That would be a 3-on-1 in anyone's language.
Ball up. Close to the interchange area, you can see in the bottom left screen there. Ackland and White going at it. Hamill. Del Santo sized it up and gave it to Hayes. Neither the centering ball here. This one's wide. Robinson in front. Nicholson behind. Milne the danger. Brown overran it. Guerra jumps on it. Got to beat 3 Ds. Got rid of it. Milne can run to an open goal. Well done, Brett Guerra. Milne gets the goal. Saints back in front.
Well, Milne kicked the goal. Guerra got the goal. That is just a battle of wills. Have a look at this. Nathan Brown is as strong-willed as anyone. So that's a good contest. But look, just a bit of muscle and squeezed it out. That is a fantastic performance by Brent Guerra on that occasion. Just really wanted it. Nothing wrong with Nathan Brown's attack on it, but managed to squeeze it out. Stephen Milne gets one. He's first for the afternoon.
Saints in front. Goal square scramble. Jamar and Ackland.
Mine.
McDonald sliding through there without the footy.
Have a look at this for desire and just pure want. Nothing else. 3 blokes, 2 blokes. Gets it out. Stephen Milne kicks a goal. Midfield of the Saints just starting to get on top here.
Ackland thumps it forward. There's Guerra. Poleaxed. Should be play on and it will be. Ball sees Gehrig. Oh, the hands of Gehrig. The free kick anyway.
Took his arms out.
Off the arms, that's the new rule.
Well, Luke Ball got the ball again.
He's lost the ball.
Let's have a look here. It's Guerra. Free kick was paid, advantage. And then he took the arm. Would never have been played. Would never have been paid last year.
Oh, you see, along the media boxes, Gary, people like Jason Dunstall and Wayne Carey and yourself and Brian just can't believe this stuff's going on inside the forward 50.
How many did you kick?
A very heated conversation at half-time it was with all of those guys you mentioned.
Yep. Here we go. Fraser Gehrig. Shot on the way as a goal. The big boy's got 5.
Well, if we can be deadly serious, which we always are when we do the footy, with a little bit of levity here and there, that rule needs to be seriously reconsidered. That is not a free kick. That is not a hole. that's a drop mark by Fraser, who would admit that. When Fraser looks at that, he'll say that had nothing to do with it. That was just a drop mark.
I don't know why that rule was ever brought in, actually. I didn't see a problem with it.
Disgrace.
Saints have got the last two and lead it by 7 points.
And we're looking for an explanation as to why that new rule was introduced.
Jamar in the middle. Have no idea, didn't know it was a problem in our game. I thought it was something for the defenders, but here we go. The Demons respond. Heffernan around the body to the goal square. At the back of the pack, couldn't mark it. On that occasion, the Demons, may have been Sylvia, who tried to back-toe it through the goals.
Here's the free kick. Now, this is not just us. This is a lot of people in footy who are saying, why, oh why did we introduce that? Fraser Gehrig himself would say, I'm a bit embarrassed about taking that free kick.
Technically, the umpires are right. They're umpiring to the letter of the rule.
Yeah, it's a very good point you make, Brian.
But it's right.
Ralph Clark wrapped up. Davies pressure again, phenomenal. Handball in the Davey direction. Now to Green. Look at the skills of Green. Further afield in search of Uze. Davey dangerous. Handball beautiful. Here's Johnson. He will go inboard and snap a goal. Just the skills magnificent.
Oh, that was funny. Uze should have given it to Johnston originally, and then Johnson got the ball and he saw Uze running past for the handball, and he should have given it.
And payback, wasn't it?
And neither did. It was payback big time.
So he should have given it there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I tell you, there's a bit of skill on display out there this afternoon. Del Santo, Johnston, Uze, Ball, Hayes,
Davey.
It's all tied up again. And the Melbourne coaching box looking on. Neil Danaher in the back row.
Anthony Rock there.
Anthony Rock front left. Back, 9.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Johnston playing a good game. Umpire went over.
Twice now, they got in the way.
Hayes gives it on the ball. Sends it to Gehrig. And the big man with 5 lines up for 6.
They're going to do something, the Demons. With Luke Ball. Guy Regani had been running with him, but he's just racking him up here in the third quarter. He's got 7 possessions already.
The carpet snake has come out of the bag today. Fraser Gehrig from 52 with a long ball and not a lot of thought, and I think it's there. No. Offline.
Seen something there, James, that's caught your eye?
Travis Johnston may have taken possession there, Gary. Is not for me to say, of course. I'll leave the special comments to you now. It's a 1-point lead to St Kilda.
Sure, you're shaking your bonds. I didn't know what was upsetting you.
Inboard to Brown. Kick smothered. Lenny Hayes. Milne has it. 30 out directly in front.
Righto, Hayes has been relatively quiet today, but he's starting to get busy. Luke Ball and Nick Del Santo, 19 touches and 17. Great smother from Hamill. That's the value of the man. He sets up another goal through a defensive effort. 11 marks inside 50 to the Saints, 5 to the Demons.
Stevie Milne for his second in this third term. His body movement will tell us if it's through. It is.
Well, it's 7 points the margin now. If the habit and the trend continues, Melbourne will respond. Now, look at that. That is just fantastic work by Aaron Hamill off the footy that sets up a goal, a direct goal. So, this is a good game of footy. Oh, we've got major drama out here. We've got an umpire with what looks to be some sort of a muscle injury. No, not that one.
He's coming off, Gary. That is Kieran Nichols with a knee injury.
Knee. Very nasty.
Kieran Nichols coming off the ground with what appears to be a knee injury, and here it is. Collides with the player.
That is the third collision we've seen in about 5 minutes, I reckon. Grant Thomas found it a touch amusing.
He's having a giggle.
Having a chuckle, that's good. Big forward set up at the moment for the Saints. The Demons are throwing one back.
Saints have got 5 goals in this third quarter. The Demons 3. Rigoni out of the middle. Miller beaten by a couple. Voss sent to sleep as he kicked it, but he wakes up.
David Neitz has gone into the back half to try and slow things down. This is a flip and shoulder from Jamar. Down the ground free kick is entirely appropriate.
Luke Ball with his 17 disposals today. Number 18 coming up there, just sideways it to Guerra.
Got a bit of cramp too, Luke Ball.
And Guerra from inside the centre square with 7.5 remaining.
With the full-on flood happening, Brian. 17 Melbourne players in one half of the ground, or 16.
St.Kilda by 7 points. It's the first time we've seen this today. Maguire takes Robertson on. Runs to 50. Did well, Bizzle. And Brown also did well to keep the ball in front. Milne jumping over the top. And happy to see the boundary line, Nathan Brown.
Yeah, why now? 7 points the margins, been goal for goal. Why now would the flood be employed?
Neil Danaher perhaps sensing a momentum shift, Gary.
Yeah, but it hasn't been. It's really been 1 for 1, hasn't it? Although I guess Fraser Gehrig has been the most imposing person in all of that.
Or is it just something that the players do automatically, almost without thinking, Gary, that they're trained to do it? They just do it at certain times?
Well, maybe, but the significant thing is David Neitz, the full forward, has gone back to play virtually a metre or two in front of Fraser.
Gehrig, left foot, dangerous. Guerra it was, ball touched. And the rush behind.
A little scuffle off the ball. You get very short odds to have a guess who'd be involved.
Yep.
There's the Neitz dropping back. Fraser tried for the old out of the air.
Grumpy of the new today, Aaron Hamill. Gary as Green goes wide to Brown.
Never had a pot, call another one black.
Yeah. Rigoni.
I think they say it's the glass breaking in the house, Gary.
McDonald on the logo. Centering ball to Green. And now the Saints getting a few numbers forward of the ball as well. Green.
Funny how it happens.
To McDonald inside the centre square. Down by the 8 points here, the Demons. 6.25 minutes remaining, and James McDonald has had 15 disposals today. Umpire said play on, took too long, so he walks around Fiora. The low ball. Robinson has gone forward and stuck a mark.
Yeah, right.
Hasn't kicked a goal today. Oh, he got one in the first quarter, in fact. And Robertson will line up from about 48 metres out as Travis Johnson takes a spell on the bench.
Very good mark, by the way, under some sort of pressure. Ball coming in very quick, but disappointing Aaron Fiora allowing James McDonald to get around him on the mark. When you've got a flood like that, you'd want them to kick the ball up high in the air.
Russell Robinson to get the D's back within 2 points. Looks pretty good. It's there. He charges back to half back where he's playing, and the Demons are within 2.
Well, he's been pretty good this quarter, Russell Robinson, playing on the half-back line up against Goddard. This is a good mark. Don't underestimate that mark. Some pressure from behind. Perhaps could have been a bit more directed at the ball, but this is what happens with these Tiggy Touchwood free kicks. The defenders now almost paranoid to try and get a fist into the footy because they're worried about being pinged for a frivolous free kick. The umpire, Darren Nichols there, who's had to come off with a crook knee, and he's been replaced by the emergency umpire, Darren Morris.
Right footy, jump at the ball, jump at the ball. Yeah,
Big Jamar got it down. Heffernan went without it. And the scramble will result in another ball up.
Hayes, cut it out.
Luke Ball, 8 touches for the quarter. Guerra's had 6, Hayes 5. Green's had 5 for the Demons.
Jump at the ball, keep it clean.
No free. High contact on Thompson went unrewarded. Rigoni started well. Been quieter since. This is inside the forward 50 and numbers back. Saints able to rally. Long ball to Xavier Clark was a beautiful kick. Handball onto Ozzie Jones. And he will go with the low, beautiful, penetrating ball to Milne.
What's he going to do? What will he do here, Stephen Milne? Look at Fraser. He's on the lead. He'll give another one.
It was on, but Milne wasn't quite ready for it.
Not.
A man that normally looks to dish it off, Milne.
I reckon Fraser, he's a bit scared of Fraser. He is prepared to kick at the phrase.
Well, only one lead forthcoming so far, JB, and they've all said no.
Not a bad percentage from this part of the ground.
We'll see what he can do, Stevie Milne. Got 2 in the quarter already. Kick on the way.
He knew what he was doing.
Look at that, Brian. Oh, didn't need to worry about it.
Well, our statistic there told us he was a 70% chance from that part of the ground, and he knew it. We didn't. Calmly went back and slotted through his 3rd for the quarter, and the Saints 15th in a high-scoring affair. Bit of run from the back half, but look, Melbourne went forward inside 50. Maguire was left on his own uncontested mark all day. Brad Miller's been shoulder to shoulder with him. They've had a contest. Why they've changed it beyond me.
Milne gets his 3rd of the quarter, and we have had 28 goals kicked in the game so far. Wonderful game of footy. Tactics at the moment. Oh! Miller came through.
No. Wait.
And sat
I'm putting you in the book. Hold it. Look. Hold on, Tomo. That wasn't me. Yeah, I know. Number 7.
Good evidence.
It wasn't me.
No, sorry, I wasn't having a look at the replay. Have a look at the replay.
Rough conduct.
So rough conduct charge on Brad Miller. Let's not forget that last week.
Just go take your number, thanks, mate. Rough conduct against number 7 of Melbourne.
There you go. Last week Brad Miller was also cited and less than 100 demerit points, so he didn't have to front. That is not a good precedent to come up the next week for the same charge.
Ball goes wide to Hudson. Hudson can drive it in 50 or go wide with the handball to Ackland. He does the ladder. Now, a full forward line for the Saints. What can they find in the goal square they fly? The punch was good from Bizzle. And a minor score there.
Now judiciary are big against head-high contact. Now that would appear that was head-high contact coming off the square. So Bradley Miller is...
Player received no injury though, or didn't appear to.
No, he did get up, but they don't want players pinged from off the square, and that will be a little worrying time for Melbourne and Brad Miller.
Ball to be delivered back in from Weekly. Long to a contested situation. Robertson and Ackland. Jamar over there. Ackland did really well. Fisher. It'll come back to Fiora. Fiora inboard, good to ball. Ball will pump it high. Numbers back for the D's. They get in each other's way. And Brown slipped it over the top. The forward pressure's been very good from the Saints. Bell slung. Got it over the line for a boundary throwing.
Good reason they got it in each other's way, James. There's that many of them loose. Neitz is down there loose as a loose man or a loose defender. Bizzle was loose.
Have they just given up hope of scoring in this quarter, Gary?
It is a very big surprise to me, to be honest, Brian.
Board 50 for the Saints. Doing the ruck work there was Fisher. To no avail. We'll have a ball up now. There's 3 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter. St Kilda by 9 points.
Yeah, and the Neitz I can understand to some degree. He's had a quiet day. He's gone down to fill a hole in front of Gehrig. Don't need any more loose men than that, I wouldn't have thought.
Jamar favoured by the bounce. Fisher in there working hard for the Saints. I will have to do it all again. Here, a touch closer to the St Kilda goal mouth.
Simon Godfrey gone on to Luke Ball. Now, I wouldn't be worrying about getting your own footy if you're a Simon Godfrey.
Saints have been good today. So have the Demons. It's been a great game, but St Kilda's form suggested so far this year with just the one win that they weren't travelling that well, but they've performed very well here today. 10
possessions to Luke Ball for the quarter. He's put it inside 57 times for the match.
Ackland doing the work. Milne with the backhander, trying to open it up. Clark, the foul. Clark runs on a little rock, but Banana got it. Brilliant play.
Well, regardless of how many players you put back, you can't stop that sort of stuff. And Melbourne have lost out of their decision to go defensive in the last 5 minutes. When they were one-on-one, they were able to get almost goal for goal. Good knock, good hit over the back. This bloke has got some class, Clark. Raphael Clark. His brother Xavier's recovered after a bit of a quiet first quarter. 12 scoring shots to 5 in the 3rd quarter of the Saints.
Some worrying signs now for the D's. Chris Jones. James Brayshaw, Gary Lyon and Brian Taylor doing the goal. Wrapped up. You're going to have another bounce. Well, just getting Jonesy involved. Yes, he's enjoying himself on the boundary. I thought he might add something.
Jumped up, he nearly had a heart attack.
He did.
I did too, boys. I tell you what, there's 40,000 people in here at the moment, and it is absolutely buzzing down here.
Oh, yeah, no.
Just recovering beautifully, Jonesy, as J-Mar went to ground, no free. Here's Raf Clark. Handball off. Hasn't been a great day for Goddard. Hovering over the top of the ball, another bounce.
Got Hayes and Ball sitting down at the moment, and Del Santo. So gearing up the Saints, they're three prime midfielders who have been superb. Just sitting and resting and gearing up for a big last quarter onslaught.
Good point by Chris Jones. The crowd here today, which I've overlooked, is magnificent. Great crowd for these two sides on a Sunday. Ackland's got the free, and he'll go wide to Clark. So good Clark. Just on the wing, centering ball, inside 50, Gehrig at the back, Neats in front. Boss was there, Nicholson to Bell. Bell, corridor football, look at the way they keep it in there.
We've got no one to go to apart from this.
Kick down the middle, Davey needs some magic, squeeze the handball, Sylvia, the spinning pirouette out of the tackle, not successful. And Xavier Clark at half-back just takes it wide, close to the boundary line, he thinks is good. And Maguire.
Not long to go. Maguire over the top. Peckett running on. Miller comes at him. The shepherd was good. Peckett inboard. Milne gets a toe to it. Robertson. A little extravagant.
Forgot where he was. He's in the back half.
This is Bizzle. And he'll drop it over the top to Wheatley.
Nothing ahead.
He'll slot it into the middle. He got to wait for the footy. Comes now to Green. Has a bounce. 10 seconds left. He's unloaded Green. Absolutely poleaxed by Ackland.
Yes, Aaron. Get it to Aaron, Davey.
Great puck, I thought.
We'll see a shot on goal from Davey. And do the Demons need this on the knock at three-quarter time?
Well, it was totally unnecessary because St Kilda, look, the players they had back, they had 2 or 3 players loose because of Melbourne's flooding.
Davey. Siren will sound now. So this will be the last kick of the term. Aaron Davey, 1 goal on the afternoon. A long journey. It'll be outside the 50. And the D's could really use a late one. They trail by 15 points right now. He's going for the torpedo and has gone onto it. But he sprayed it away to the left. And a behind to finish the term.
Now Neil Danaher jogs on to the field. He wants his players straight away, not mucking around.
Start of the last quarter. St Kilda by 14 points over the Demons. Ackland on the end of it, Bizzle. Godfrey put both hands up, couldn't claw it in. And McLean was held up as he tried to bust his way through.
Gone back to almost the original forward formation with Uze and Neats in the goal square in Melbourne.
Ackland to Jones. Jones in heavy traffic, just worked it forward the best he could. Guerra arriving late was Del Santo. Had plenty of it in the first quarter. Hayes, Del Santo. In the mix was Baker as well. Picked up in the end by Lenny Hayes. Tries to bring it back in the Gehrig direction. Nicholson bodies him off, and boundary line beat Big Fraser in the end, who's played well today in kicking 5.
He has indeed. Those midfield matchups, McDonald and Ball, Johnston and Hayes, and actually Ball and McDonald, that's right. Who's got Del Santo? I'll tell you in a minute.
Righto. Stay with it, Gary, as the Saints press on. Ackland, right foot, snap, goal. Big start to the Saints.
Well, they are up and about now. Big crowd in here at the Telstra Dome, St Kilda home ground. Contested the ruck, did Big Kane Ackland. I'm not sure that's going to go down all that well in the Melbourne coaching box. Ends up in the hand of Ozzy Jones. Gets it over the top. Kane Ackland good enough to finish off. 20 points. Long way back for the Demons.
Saints have got the last 3 in a row.
What is he doing?
To lead it by 20 points.
15! Play on! Play on! Play on!
Umpire letting the boys know it was play on. Rafael Clark getting a free there.
Yeah, Del Santo's playing half forward, Brian, in answer to your question. Daniel Bell's picking him up.
Clark wide. Finds Voss in the middle. He goes wide, and the space for Baker to operate is plentiful. Kicks the ball wide. Fraser on the lead. Marks has beaten Alistair Nicholson today. This one's too far, I think, for Fraser. When he's really going, you can urge him from here. He has kicked 5. And the fact that he's slowed a little in the process means he thinks he's some sort of chance. 55 metres out. Look at that! Fraser with the double-fisted salute for his 6th.
Well, he's becoming a bit like Sav Rocker in that he is a better kick the further out he gets, big phrase. Let's have a look at this. Just trailing Alistair Nicholson, trailing Fraser in, and he's getting pretty good supply. Good strong hands from Gehrig. And what a beautiful kick. That has travelled all of, what, 55 to 60 metres.
Biggest margin in the match. Going to be tough for the D's, you'd think, from here. Fraser Gehrig, welcome return to form. 6 goals. Ackland's been good. Johnston, can the Demons mount something? Around the corner. Godfrey. And Uze. Boundary line.
Well, this has been a very impressive display here by St Kilda. You've got to say that. Sylvia Heffernan and Jamar, the only 3 that can come back on for the Demons, repeating the Cameron Bruce first tackle of the match. Dislocated AC joint, we're told. Yeah, I'm not sure about how long he will be out.
Ackland. Not a great boundary throw in, didn't get to the 2 ruckmen. Big tackle on ball. Fiora shrugged the tackle, got it to Hayes. Baker had it smothered, gets it back. Kick down the line, Hamill hit the pack hard, free kick holding.
It's not getting any better for Melbourne. James McDonald, one of their best players, has just come off, limped off with what appears to be a knee injury, and we'll have a stop in play because Brent Guerra
has been split open.
He has, so he'll
hold the game up till he's off.
He'll come off. Let's have a look at this. That's the Guerra. That's a bit, might have even been some friendly fire there.
Right knee for James McDonald as Guerra in that collision comes off with a gash to the head.
A nasty one too. And McDonald, who has had to miss some footy last year.
Bell with an ordinary kick, made it hard for Rivers. Del Santo responds, takes Uze on. Normally good by foot. Fraser Gehrig marks.
Hamill
wants to play on. Got Hamill in the square. Rivers might just get there. No. Hamill has marked 15 out directly in front and takes a look up at Rivers and said, "Don't do that again, son."
Wow, this is turning into a bit of a pasting here from a St Kilda point of view. This is the McDonald incident. Let's have a look at that right knee. Bang from Luke Ball, and he hobbled off with help from the trainer. So that is bad news on the back of Cameron Bruce. Probably their 2 best midfielders in as much as one's an attacker, one's a much more defensive minded. But anyway, to make it Saints on a roll.
A 32-point lead. Hamill can make it 5 St Kilda goals in a row, and he's got it.
This is the form of the St Kilda team that was installed as the favourites for the premiership early. Right leg, down he goes. Now, Brian, you know more about knees than me.
Well, the only good thing about that, I think, is it's a direct collision, so it could be a corky, but it did twist it a bit and pushed it out, didn't it?
So would that be lateral side, medial side?
Big lead now. The Saints imposing themselves on the league leaders. Ackland, back of the hand. Fiora, beautiful to Thompson. Thompson and Milne. The witches' hats being placed out on the Telstra Dome at the moment.
But if you have a look at it, it's this midfield that has just taken over. In the last quarter and a half, they've become supremely dominant. They're winning the ball out of the middle. They're using it beautifully. Big Fraser's on fire, and now you've got Stephen Milne who's decided to get in on the act. This is a good St Kilda side, but it's up and about in this sort of form.
So Milne, 2 goals on the afternoon. This to make it 3. He's got it.
And all of a sudden, the margin is 38 points. That is quite amazing when this was a goal-for-goal situation. The Adamuse tackle, less than impressive. And, well, they are in fine form, the Saints.
I'd have just mentioned that it was Milne's 3rd, Brian. He's actually snared 4 for the afternoon.
Got the 4 and played 93% of the game time today. Stephen Milne in the middle. The Saints just continue on. Rigoni, who was brilliant in the first quarter of footy here today. Clark, defensively, been a very good game for the 3-gamer. And Rafael Clark, short ball, putting Thompson under some pressure.
There's little pressure out there from Melbourne, particularly their forward half. It goes in and comes back out that quickly.
Ball, let's see him use it by foot. Garrick on the lead. Green there. Kept it alive for the Demons. Now Nicholson. The 2 big boys, one on either side. They bang it out. Jones around the body to Lenny Hayes. And the former skipper will line up and could make it 7 in a row for the on-fire Saints.
Well, such has been the dominance of St Kilda in this last quarter. They have had 26 touches. Melbourne have had just 6 possessions, 6 amongst the whole group. The marks, 8 to St Kilda. Melbourne yet to take one in the last quarter. They are getting their pants pulled down.
7 minutes ago, it was St Kilda by 14 points. If he's successful now, it'll be 44 points. Hayes directly in front. Kick on the way. Had a little bit of left in it. Just the minor score. Chris Jones.
Guerra's still in the rooms, having that cut on his head attended to, and James McDonald's day is over. He's got ice on his right knee and doesn't look like he's going to come back on.
Looks like the end of a very intense month for the D's, Gaz.
Well, last week Neil Danaher said that he couldn't find fault with too much that happened on Friday night. They've got a few problems now. Bruce injured, McDonald injured, and a fair pantsing taking place.
White to Bell, went without it. Clark steps through. Real coming of age day for him. There's his brother Xavier. Hamill just slapping in.
Look at this.
Green, Heffernan, belted into the turf by Sammy Hamill. Picked up by Thompson. Kick went nowhere. Fierce tackling on Del Santo. Bounce of the ball, 30 out.
Relentless pressure.
They'll draw a lot of confidence out of this, the Saints, won't they?
It's a reminder, it's like a little switch is being flicked for the Saints. Oh, this is how we did it. This is what we used to do. That man, Luke Ball, standing skipper, has been outstanding.
Fiora, 3rd man up. Tuuze Milne somehow controlled it. It runs away from any defence. The kick is high. Under it is Jones, he'll mark. Now, where will he go? He's got the big man Fraser in the square, but he elects to go wide, looking for the space for Rafael Clark.
Like this man.
He accepts the mark, will get the shepherd from Thompson. Looks to draw, didn't help him in the end. Schwartz, handball over the top. Ball from the boundary line, missed. Just the minor score. Melbourne next week, of course, have got Sydney at the SCG, and the Saints have got the informed Tigers here at the Dome.
We're back. And a bit of running repairs.
Got the Hannibal Lecter going there. Brent Guerra.
Been responsible for a couple of Hannibal Lecters over his career. Brent Guerra.
Travis Johnson, short and okay. Not going to be a memorable 100th for Brown or Rigoni.
Midfield continues to run. Ball 5, Hayes 5, Thompson 5, all in this third quarter.
Over the top, and this is Johnston.
Magoni's had it 17 times though, but most of those were in the first quarter.
Umpire goes over. Johnston in short, more talking about the team aspect, Brian, than his own game, which you're right, has been good. Handball over the top to Raph Clark. He shovels it back. This is Maguire. Blake has it fisted away. Voss charges into the turf. And eventually we're going to have the ball up.
Blake with a bit of a corky to the backside. See him get up holding it there.
Any of your milestone games wind up in victories, Gary, or...
Yes, James, yes.
Which ones, Gary?
I don't like to dwell on past footy, Brian, thanks. I know you do, I don't.
You're doing the breaks. Hayes.
It's really funny, Brian.
Beckett. Brush the Davey tackle aside and look at the sizzling ball to the middle. Low trajectory to ball. Fiora, now he can kick this from 50, lines up correctly in front. 7 in a row for the Saints.
Oh, and don't the crowd love it? A big crowd in here on a great day for footy, and they are up on their feet. St.Kilda flags waving, and they are delighted with this return to form by the Saints. 21 goals they've kicked. Again, Luke Ball involved in the process. That is an assist, Brian, that you wouldn't be familiar with in your football career, but that is a lovely finish from a very talented player.
The Saints celebrate at the Dome. They're giving a very good side a smacking. Ball has been excellent. Lenny Hayes. Drop punt, Mill. Sliding in.
Oh, they're up.
Well,
They are. The confidence, the arrogance, the strut, the swagger.
This is all minus some pretty handy players. Harvey, Pound, Kaczynski, Revolt. Now you get to understand why they were flag favourites in the early months.
Milne to unload from outside the 50. Going to sit it on the head of a couple. Mark taken by Hamill. Not paid. Goddard kicks the goal anyway.
Not sure what Darren Hamill's going to do to take a mark, but it doesn't matter because Brendan Goddard's got in on the act. He's first for the afternoon. And they had 16 goals at three-quarter time. They banged on 6 inside the first 13 minutes.
Boy, what a rampaging St Kilda we are witnessing here. 8 consecutive goals resulting in this 52-point advantage with 11 minutes remaining in the game. Such a close contest, even up until the three-quarter time break where the Saints led by 14. Davey, Godfrey and Bizzle. Back to Davey. Penetrating run through the middle here by Aaron Davey. Takes all comers on.
Jeez.
Did it easy. Neats on the lead. Hutchton bringing the ball to ground. Peckett, the man that's able to tidy it up in defence. Lucky kick. I think it was meant for the wider ball. But Goddard got on the end of it now through the corridor. Fiora. Where does he go? Short and wide, Del Santo.
They're just trying to stop the floodgates here. They've got Green back and Uze loose in defence.
Del Santo in the Hamill direction. Rivers did well. Handball over the top. Davey got some beautiful movement. Handball to White was good. White will go low and nicely in the Robertson direction.
Got to go quick. Needs one out.
Needs one out. Got to set it on his head. Waits for the lead. Here it comes. Needs holding off with one hand. Don't argue style. Sucked it in with the other one. And the big full forward can take a shot at his third.
Well, hasn't been a great afternoon for David Neitz. Max Hutchton's done a good job. He had a little purple patch in the second quarter. But not the greatest afternoon.
He's going with the banana ball. Let's see how he copes with it. That is very good. The modern footballer just does that so well.
That is an unbelievable goal, to be honest. Pure skill as he comes off for his troubles. He's been taken off there, and Davey started it all. He could one day run from one end of the ground to the other, Aaron Davey. But he ended up starting it, ends up in the hands of David Neitz, and he's kicked, what would you say, 35, 40-metre banana kick?
Yep.
Straight through the middle. That's a beautiful kick.
Well, Neitz got his third, but just to give you an idea of the difference here as we see him coming to the bench with maybe some sort of injury. Disposals in this quarter, 52-19 St Kilda's way. 6 goals to 1. 8 inside 50s to 2. And it has been a rout in this last quarter because of that man there, Ball, who got 10 possessions in the third quarter and has continued it on here in the fourth. Out wide, he's had 8 in this one. Lenny Hayes, a unorthodox centering ball. Umpire said play on, touch the ground, so forced to spit it out to Maguire, back to Ball.
Is someone going to go and play on that bloke? That's what the question would be asked at the moment.
Possession 9 for the quarter, and he's got 9 minutes remaining. Hamill goes wide to Gehrig. Now this time I think he's too far out to score. 70 from home he is. Big phrase.
Travis Johnston, the man on ball.
Fiora on the lead marks.
Just able to ease the 160 kilos off the bench, Fraser.
Is he?
In the strong room. Yep.
Yeah.
That takes him doing, bro.
Is that a club record?
I think it is.
Ozzie Jones comes off. Xavier Clark comes back on. This has been a wonderful afternoon for St Kilda. They are back to their very best. But I tell you what, some of the Demons players have got to take some responsibility here.
Ozzie Jones with 21 touches today. And here is Fiora, the former Tiger, from 50. Got it.
Fiora had a horror start. The game was on Guy Regani. Guy Regani was on fire, but since then, as things have settled down, he has just found his rhythm, found his range as well, and now slotted a couple through. The midfield now they've got Sylvia, Melbourne, Sylvia, McLean, Johnston, Jamar, and Godfrey. Sylvia comes out. They're going to take responsibility for Hayes and Thompson and also Jones, who are running rampant.
Well, I don't know whether it comes under the category of boil over, but certainly the margin is astounding.
It's a pathetic capitulation, that's what it is.
Free kick.
Given the form Melbourne have been in. Big Jamar not impressed.
I thought you'd put your knee into his chest.
Just making his thoughts reasonably clear. Maguire's got it. Long way out from goal. He will set it up at the top of the square. Milne got a couple of feet in the air. Bizzle missed the ball altogether with a double fist, and it's over the line.
Played last Friday night. Let's have a look at this infringement.
I mean, if he jumps higher and gets the knee there first, what is the problem?
Don't ask me about rucking. That is just beyond me.
Don't ask Sam either, unless you still want to be listening 15 minutes later as Ackland got the ball in his hands.
And still be none the wiser.
He'll be none the wiser by the end of it.
Melbourne,
we're going to have a stoppage here.
Played Friday night, boys, let's not forget. So they've had a very good long recovery to get themselves ready, and they look like a team who are coming off a 4-day break. Yep. They have just stopped.
A 9-day break, I think, for the Demons. That works out at. So they've had plenty of opportunity to get themselves right. Goddard. Travis Johnston. Players converge, and we'll have a ball up out of this one with 7 minutes remaining. St Kilda 23-11-149 to Melbourne 14-13-97. Neil Danaher, what does he do?
Well, 7 points was a margin about, 20 minutes in, was it?
20 minutes into the third quarter.
20 minutes into the third quarter. It is now 52.
Play on.
Johnston to McLean. The Demons, hard to believe, actually. Peckett will just bang it back inside 50 and finds Maguire.
There's no good flooding now. The damage is done. They might as well try and score at the other end because they're just too hot. The Saints, they'll kick goals against any flood.
Maguire short to Gehrig. Nicholson got a palm there, knocked it down. Johnston through a bit of traffic. Dangerous, risky kick. Confidence to pull it off though. Uze. Robinson's had a quietish day. Saints dive on the ball in the disputed contest in the midfield.
In fact, Brian,
No one
come
tackled
to
him,
our attention. Boy, a good stats man here. 2 points they are in front. 24-minute mark,
That's
third
right.
quarter. 2 points. That is an unbelievable turnaround.
That's the Saints next month. So we've got some winnable games in there. Uze,
good
smother. Thompson, head over it, as he has done his whole career. Ball went without it. Johnston slapped into the turf. It's becoming a little ugly. Godfrey gets the handball to Uze, just dumps it on the boot. Robertson's got a couple to beat. At ground level, Peckett. Take it high. It wouldn't have mattered because he had clear traffic ahead of him anyway. Raf Clark's been very nice.
He's a good defensive player, and Davey, but when you're losing, you lose everything. You lose your ability to think. He should have tried to lay one of his trademark tackles. I mean, what are you thinking?
Not really sure, but probably a good thing that he just tucked the elbow in at the last second there, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tucked. I'm not sure it was tucked in enough, was it?
Well, that's up to you, Gary, being the special comments.
Well, it's just a stupid thing to do.
It was very stupid, but I'm not sure he made any
You
contact.
can't tiptoe around it, Brian. He has made contact, and now he's going to come under some scrutiny when they're 52 points down. Stop sitting on the fence and have the guts to say something, son.
In serious trouble, Aaron Davey says the great Gary Lyon will be fronting the tribunal. Ball from 50. Long. Couldn't mark it off hands. Gehrig nearly got a boot to it. Minor score. 4.5 left.
It's a fence under extreme duress with big
There you
barge
go.
parked on top of it.
Tell me what happens. Yeah, it's not severe. They'll judge that as low contact, you would think. He didn't go down. Frankie Peckett, he might get 80 points and be warned and reprimanded.
Might have missed him.
Well, tell me, you got 2 eyes stuck in that head of yours.
Well, that's what I said in the initial.
You said he missed.
Well, I thought he did.
Yeah, come on, don't treat our viewers with disdain.
Oh, don't start.
No,
that.
you don't. You
50.
won in the contest and you claimed it.
Work my way between the two big forwards as Godfrey's got it and going to get a 50. Umpires have, on the whole, been okay. A couple of set shot inside the forward 51s that looked a little questionable, but have had absolutely no impact on the result. This is a big, big win for the Saints. Handball not great to Rigoni. He's going to have to mop up and kick high and long. In from the side, Del Santo. What a terrific young player. That's a great mark.
Very, very good player today, Nick Del Santo.
23 possessions for that man. Xavier Clark trying to keep it alive for the Saints. Pushed out of the way by Trapper Johnston, and the centering ball to Brown is very good. Brown will line up about 35 out directly in front. Melbourne have only kicked the 1 goal in this last quarter, and that came off the boot of Neitz, and the Saints have kicked 7. There's the Del Santo hanger in the square.
The 26 goals in the career of Nathan D. Brown. 100 games of footy.
And he comes. Kick on the way, a little bit leftish. Just the minor score there, so 98 plays 150 now with just over 3 minutes remaining on the tick-tock.
Big victory for the Saints. Big day, big afternoon. They are back on track.
Good kick from Schwartz. Got it to Peckett. Looks to dish it off. Will do now. Stephen Baker's run hard for him. Baker. High and long to the hot spot. Hamill just sits under it. Gets crunched. Uze to Rigoni. Rigoni to Sylvia. His ball forward, going to land at the feet of Jeff White. Tough for the big man to mark that one. Schwartz at the back. Gets it to Raf Clark. Back to Schwartz. They end up working it okay, the Saints. Schwartz into the centre. Peckett. He's had no one anywhere near him for the last 40 minutes of football. Picks it up. Goes long. Here comes Fraze. Just at the absolute extremities of the range, Brian.
Yep.
He may, if he gets the nostrils flared, have a ride at this. We just have to watch because you never know. Here he goes. Called to go. Hasn't timed it. Still got it nearly there. Hamill! Big climb in the square.
He's a good player, Aaron Hamill. He is a good player. He's better than that. He's a very good player. he just gives you something. Every time the ball comes into his area of the ground, he gives you something. Whether it's a little tackle or a smother or a big mark or a bit of niggle. He's just someone you'd love to have in your footy side.
Del Santo comes from the ground. Ozzie Jones back on. Umpire being very pedantic about Aaron Hamill, who keeps creeping around. He does it again. Play on. And he kicks the goal.
Touched.
Was there a touch on it? There was.
Outsmarted himself.
Did. Not going to matter. They're out by that much.
Just wait till he's out the forward.
Still got a finger on it, the Biz. 21 marks inside 50 to St Kilda. Melbourne just 8. They have had plenty of options going forward.
Taking the foot off the accelerator in this last 5 or 10. The Saints, you get the feeling as Nicholson sends it wing-bound. Jamar unable to control it. Baker. Just like this man's game today, Clark, he's been very impressive in just his third game of league footy. Goddard. No one comes at him, so he pleases himself. Long ball on the head of Garrick. Over the back, Hamblin. Milne closing. Got the speed to go with him. Bell. Milne bounces out. Had to handball at the end. Sylvia stripped of it by a desperate Aaron Hamill. Look at him.
Easy.
1 minute 12 to go. They're 53 points up, and that's the sort of competitiveness that has been lacking in Melbourne's game. It cost them a 50-metre penalty, clever kick, but the competitiveness of Hamill on this occasion has not been anywhere to be seen from a Melbourne point of view in the last quarter.
Going to do something there he may have regretted.
Yep.
Coming towards the umpire.
Fabulous Phil Coleman style.
Let him go, please. That's it there. Thanks, mate.
Last minute,
Sorry behind him.
big win. Return to form for the Saints, who looked lost in the first month. Rivers won't do the D's a mountain and a half, Gary. They've won their first 3 and have got a great list. And
good reality check, though, I think, James, at this stage of the season.
Bell, what may do them harm is some injury. We've got their best player for the first 3 games anyway, Bruce, off for the whole game with a shoulder problem. We've had McDonald with a knee problem. They're real key movers. May miss some footy. Sylvia.
Stay.
In short. Regoni.
The one redeeming feature for Guy Regoni and Nathan Brown of this game is that in their 100th, while as a team they've had their pants pulled down, those two have probably been in Melbourne's best 4 or 5 players.
Siren going to sound. Can he finish his 100th with a goal? Kick on the way. I reckon he has. Yep. So, nice kick to finish for Guy Regoni. Big win for the St Kilda Footy Club. With some big names still to come back, they look right back on track.